How's my hair? I don't want to look ridiculous. All right, here we go.
Wonderful, wonderful. But it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, this is a TEDx talk. But do you ever wonder where the wonder went? You know, when we were kids, we would spend all day in a mud puddle just splashing around, or we'd find the universe in the head of a dandelion. What happened to that fun? As we become adults, we get all sorts of responsibilities and obligations, but I think we really need to tap into that fun. Can we find that fun again? Well, we think so, and we think it's through the regular practice of whimsy.
So Steve and I are professional variety entertainers, and this is one of my outfits I get to wear to work. But I'm also a wife and a mother, and I need to practice around the house, and believe it or not, this is not the easiest outfit to get in or out of. So I have also been known to feed the cat, or answer emails, or take out the trash while I'm dressed like this. I have even reprimanded my children in this outfit. And we really don't think anything of it. It's just the norm in our house. But when we take that moment and think about how ridiculous that is, we just have to laugh. And the laughter is great because when you're dealing with that everyday mundane stuff like washing the dishes and doing the laundry, sometimes you just need some levity and some fun to just balance it out.
Now, Kobi's happened upon some accidental whimsy while wearing this, but there must be a way that we can put this into daily use. But first, we have to figure out what is whimsy.
Well, really, it's nothing that should cost money, and it's not really tangible. It's not something that you're going to create to hand over to somebody that they'll tell you it's good or bad or right or wrong.
It's more of a different way of looking at something, a different prism in which to find the fantasy and find the fun in your life. But how does that translate to everyday life? Well, I have an everyday household object right here. Well, it's an everyday household object in my household, but it's a ring of felt. But what is it if it's not just a ring of felt? Where can our imaginations take us? Well, it can take you to places like Napoleonic France. You can visit the matadors of Spain. You can go to Abu Dhabi. Go to Italy and see the Pope. Visit faraway exotic places you've only dreamed of going. I'm talking about an ancient, uncivilized land known as North Dakota. Or the little house on the prairie. Aw, whimsical, fun, yes. But it's this sort of stuff, this sort of creativity that you can actually put into your daily life, believe it or not.
So think back to when you were a child and it's the end of the school year, it's this gorgeous sunny day and you're just begging your teacher to have class outside, but she says no because you're not going to be able to concentrate and you're not going to get any work done. Well, people learn in different ways, and sometimes a lot of great discoveries can happen in non-traditional settings.
Yeah, we are both, tell them about your school.
Well, I attended a small private high school, and they prided themselves on the academics, but fortunately, the administrators also understood that to create lifelong learners, we needed to connect with our sense of curiosity. So once a year, we would celebrate with Don Quixote Day. Now, it was always a surprise. We never knew when Don Quixote Day would happen, and when they made that announcement, we just knew that it was the best day of the year. And I mean, back then I just thought it was a day that we didn't have to go to class. We would just spend our day outside just listening to music and creating art and playing games. It wasn't until years later as an adult that I realized what an amazing gift we were actually given. I mean, an entire day just to explore and create and see where our imaginations could take us.
Imagine a place of higher learning providing whimsy on a regular basis. But we're both graduates of another school, which is Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Clown College, as if you couldn't guess. Now, you might think that's a fun and fanciful place, and it is, but it's also extremely stressful and highly competitive. Believe it or not, thousands of people every year apply to Clown College. Only about 50 are accepted, and of those 50, only a select few are selected to travel with the greatest show on earth?
So it's an intense training grounds where you go to school from 8 in the morning till 10 at night for 6 days a week, just being pushed to your limits physically and emotionally on a regular basis.
Now, I was a student there, Kobi was a student, but I went back to teach. I taught at the clown college, and I was on the faculty, so we always knew when the stress levels were getting too high with the clowns. So we would... We would decide, the dean of clown college, and there is a dean of clown college, the dean of clown college would declare it as mandatory fun day. This is great, all right? Because then we would take all the students and put them in the car.
They're ahead of you.
You're ahead of us, that's it. 50 students, one car. And we would go to the beach and fly kites and build sandcastles, blow bubbles, anything that would take them out of the circular thought they were in and help them to refocus and to reframe.
Now, whimsy can actually be beneficial in a work setting as well. I was self-employed until I was 29 years old, and when I was offered my first official 9-to-5 job with benefits, I cried. I completely thought that my life was over as I knew it. I just couldn't imagine how an office job could be anything other than routine. But my first week at this job, we had an Ides of March day. And I was told to come to work dressed in a toga, and that while we were working, we would play assassin, and they catered in a lunch of spanakopita and stuffed grape leaves. And this was not a one-time event. We actually had a committee whose job it was to come up with these events once a month. Now, I've worked in many work settings since then, many offices, corporate events, and this truly was the most effective place I ever worked at. People enjoyed coming to work, everybody got along, the work was always done in an efficient manner, and it was always of the highest caliber.
So, we've got Ides of March, we've got Don Quixote Day, and mandatory fun. At this point, you're probably thinking, Kobi leads an amazing and whimsical life, and she does, in a way, but we believe it's available to everybody, that whimsy will come to you if you look for it, all right? In our personal lives, we put it as much as we can. Our travels, our careers have taken us around the world, and we have lots of currency from different countries. So when the tooth fairy comes to our house, she's given a lot more leeway. Not only do our kids get American dollars and coins, but they also get Brazilian escudos and drachma from Greece and Italian lira. And you'd see them in the morning finding this treasure, and their eyes would open up. But even better than that, their minds would open up. And they could see the world beyond their little community. And it really created a sense of a wanderlust and a lot of curiosity.
So unfortunately, the tooth fairy does not visit our family anymore. Our sons are now teenagers and seeing the world through more adult eyes. And that's a hard thing for us to accept. And maybe that's why it's important for us to maintain this sense of whimsy for our family. And hopefully this is something that our sons will carry on as they become actual adults and maybe even pass down to their children if they become parents someday.
Yes, and let's face it, as adults, we know that life is hard and things come into us all the time. Responsibilities, news on the news is just too hard to take sometimes. So it's really important, we believe, to find in ourselves a core of fun and to nurture that and to be able to release it at a moment's notice, not only for yourself, but for people around you as well.
So for some people, creating whimsy, it might be a larger-than-life experience, but for other people, it just might be a small and subtle gesture.
It's individual, it's personal, and it's creative.
So if you don't know where to start, just start with something small. Just go for a walk outside barefoot in the grass.
While wearing a tiara.
Yeah. When you go shopping, ride the shopping cart out to the parking lot.
And if it's a rainy day, go ahead. Find a mud puddle and splash away around. They're not just for kids anymore.
Blow up a balloon.
Wear a silly hat.
Make some music. If you can tap into that sense of whimsy, you might start to find it in some unexpected places.
Like TEDxUWStout. Pop.